Right now you're probably wondering why a 17-year-old is telling you how to live your life. But through these 6 laws that I've curated, I feel like anyone in this world, if you follow them through like rule by rule, anyone will be able to have a fulfilling life. And I'm gonna go straight into the chase. The first rule is to treat people with kindness and not necessarily niceness. What I mean by this is you should treat everyone with the respect that you would like to have when they're interacting with you. As the old saying goes, treat others how you want to be treated, right? You don't necessarily have to sugarcoat everything, or you don't necessarily have to be nice to everyone. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. Being kind is seeing their perspective through their shoes, right? Like showing empathy to people that may be in a worse off position to you. And through this lens, you will be able to almost learn something from anyone, right? Because everyone has something that you can learn from. And that's the first rule, to treat everyone with kindness. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to treat everyone with niceness. And the second rule is to make most of the cards that you're dealt with. So whether you're poor or whether you're rich, it's always fantastic to use the resources that you're provided with. So if you have the connections, if you have the money to, improve your life, or if you have the money to just build the connections that you need to build a company, or like start a business, or get into law school, get into medical school, etc., you should always use that to your advantage no matter what. And unfortunately, if you're in a worse off condition, you should always see what you have around you that you can use to actually build up your life to the life that you dream of. Whether that's finding a job, like a low paying job that you can slowly build up some capital that you can then start a business on, or maybe going out to the streets, random people you can just talk to, right? Build connections that way. It's a lot harder if you're provided with less resources, but it's still possible. You just gotta make use of what you have. The third rule is this concept called delusional optimism. So the other day I watched this video about this guy talking about this concept, in which the most successful people always have this one trait. It's where they have this self-belief, this innate self-belief that they're able to do anything that they want. And the fact is, it doesn't matter if they actually achieve it or not, but the mentality to just go for it, just a blinding optimism, just to go for the thing that, makes sense to you in your head, right? That's one trait that everyone should start to get better at. Just having a bigger field of vision, almost, in the sense that, the limiting beliefs that you might have right now shouldn't be keeping you captive in the life that you kind of truly want. But yeah, I'll link the video I saw a couple of days ago below in the description so you guys can have a watch as well. It was an incredible video, and hats off to the creator. And yeah, this concept I think is just an incredible and self-fulfilling thing. the fourth concept and the fourth rule is you either succeed from any action or you learn from it. And there's no such thing as failure. What I mean by this is, if you experience some setback, or if you experience some, failures that you might think in your head, aren't necessarily failures in the grand scheme of things. They can be sought as lessons that bridge you into a new character almost, with more knowledge than the previous iteration of yourself. You can almost think of each failure as a filtering system. So the more failures you go through, right, the more honed in, the more experienced you are at the craft you're doing. For example, if you're playing guitar, it's a skill, right? You need to fail multiple times to know what not to do in order to then know what to do. And that's something that's very important. I think a lot of people should understand that every failure that you might think to be a failure shouldn't be even considered a failure. You should reframe your mind to thinking it to be a lesson, like something you can learn from it. And I think that's just such an important mentality shift to get right. The fifth law is to chase the feeling of being comfortable with being. The fifth law is chasing to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Might seem confusing at first, but the reason why you don't want to do most things is because it's not because it's hard, right? It's because you don't know what might happen after it. Most actions, or most things that you procrastinate on, or most things that you kind of don't want to do, genuinely isn't even that hard, just as the action itself. It's only with the context surrounding that action which makes it a bit more difficult than it needs to be. For example, if you're giving a big speech in front of everyone, right? Imagine if it was just one person you're giving a speech to. That's like so easy, right? But now that the context is involved and that you're giving a speech to hundreds of people, suddenly the action becomes very uncomfortable and very hard to do. And what this law essentially combats is just being used to that feeling, right? Being comfortable with feeling that sense of doom inside your stomach and just being able to live with it. And once you master this art, once you master this craft, right, you can go into life with a more confident feeling because you're so used to feeling this type of just uncomfortability walking into any action, right? It'll be second nature. It won't be uncomfortable anymore because you're just so used to it. That's what I mean. And the sixth law that everyone should do, starting from today, is to start showing gratitude to yourself. And by that I mean showing how you appreciate yourself, day to day, being proud of how far you've come, and being almost loving like a mother, but back to yourself, right? Because there's no reason to beat yourself up for anything after having achieved so much in the years that you've lived on Earth, right? And yeah, that's all there is to it. Just gotta love yourself. It's easier said than done, but once you build the daily habits on just showing some gratitude to yourself, finding joy in the small things that you do, you'll start to actually build self-respect and build a sense of fulfillment. And that's just truly incredible. So yeah, that's the video for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.